In this video, we're going to explore the parts of our personality that, when blended with this mode, use aggressive and angry language to push people away. The simple intention behind this behavior mode as a coping mechanism is to protect our vulnerable child from the threat that's in front of us, regardless of whether this threat is perceived or real. For me, this mode was often connected to the frustrations of not getting what I wanted from those that I cared about the most. So today, let's discuss the mode of behavior that we call the angry protector. When the angry protector mode is activated within our personality system, we find ourselves attempting to defend our vulnerable child by putting up a wall of anger that's designed to keep other people at a distance. When we're blended with the part that's in this particular mode, our behavior is usually seen by those around us as being a bit aggressive, prickly, and completely off-putting. However, parts in this mode have no real intent to harm anyone, either verbally or physically. They simply want to push people away from us in order to make sure that we keep the vulnerable child safe. The angry protector constantly breaks the connection that we have with other people, regardless of their importance in our lives, and we are filled with the experience of frustration, resentment, and irritability whenever this mode has been activated within our personality system. The angry protector mode can often follow on from a period of blending with the angry child mode. What I mean by this is that the angry child is trying to get other people around us to listen to what it is that we're trying to say, trying to get them to hear our particular point of view. When those needs are not met and the people around us don't hear us, we flip into the angry protector mode to push people away as a protection mechanism for the possible activation of the vulnerable child. The angry protector will show up in our language with phrases like, "Stay away from me," or "I don't want anything to do with you, you're really pissing me off right now." And it can be the case that it's followed by an avoidant protector mode that's fleeing the situation by storming off and slamming doors on its way out of the environment. For me, once the coping mechanism of substance was no longer being used or even effective, anger was the most dominant coping mechanism in my system whenever my vulnerable child was under threat. This was often connected to my anxious, fearful attachment style, and I would push people away in a type of self-sabotage that was designed to control the situation with aggressive behavior whenever I felt like someone important was just gonna leave. So you're working late again? That's the third time this week, right? She's gonna leave you. She's working late because she doesn't want to be around you anymore. You need to tell her to get out of your life before she makes you look like a fool and leaves you anyway. She's probably having an affair with that guy at work. You need to end this now before she ends it with you and leaves. Do it now. You know what? I'm done with this shit. The only thing you seem to care about is work. You need to get out of my life. Don't bother calling me again. Don't bother texting me again. I'm done with this shit. It is completely over. One of the biggest problems with this behavior pattern was that it intensified my underlying sense of loneliness due to my perceived lack of emotional connection with anyone significant in my life. If anyone ever asked me about this behavior, it would once again come to the surface to protect its own existence. So listen, man. Some of the guys, they're kind of talking about what you're doing, and they're starting to wonder if, you've got the right kind of point of view on this stuff, man. It's really important to get input from other people, and as your friends, I think it's only fair that we point out when what you're doing really just doesn't seem like it's working for you. So why are you asking me questions like that? I get your opinion, but I'm allowed to have my opinion too, right? And I'm allowed to make my own choices, aren't I? He's questioning what you're doing. He shouldn't be questioning that type of thing. He's not allowed to be questioning your choices. That's not what he's supposed to do. You need to tell him to stop right now. Don't let him push you around and control you. He thinks you're weak. Stop him right now. You know what? You need to f*** off. Don't tell me what to do, and don't try telling me how to live my life. It's my life. You need to f*** off before I do something that I'm gonna regret. Get out of here. Don't you dare try calling me to apologize later, because I don't want to hear it. Leave me alone and don't ever try to contact me again. This friendship is done. As I previously mentioned, the textbook example was exactly how it played out for me. First, my angry child would come to the surface, trying to make people listen to what it was I had to say. And then when people wouldn't listen or agree with me in the way I wanted them to, it would quickly flip into an angry protector, followed by the avoidant protector, that would push everyone away and isolate myself in a frantic attempt to find safety in my solitude. So I'm really not sure that it's a good idea to do it this way. It seems to take a lot longer than it should. Do you think we can try doing it the way that we discussed yesterday in our meeting, just by chance?
No, I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and you can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. No.
You know what? No, you're not listening to me. I've told you 1,000 times that this is the way that I do it, and it's the only way to do it. You're not listening to what it is that I'm saying, and you're not understanding where I'm coming from. Yeah, obviously, I hear you. Really, I do. I'm not saying that you're always wrong or anything like that. I'm just thinking if we tried it a different way, we might be able to cut the time down a bit, make it a little bit more efficient. What do you think? He's going to fire you. You need to quit before he fires you. You need to end this so he doesn't make you look like a fool. End it. Quit. Quit your job right now. Do it. You know what? You. This job isn't worth the hassle that you keep giving me. I'm done with this. It's an absolute joke. You and your job. I'm out of here. Don't bother calling me, begging me to change my mind either. I'm never coming back. This is over. Recognizing the presence of what we call mode flipping is an important part of understanding our personality system. When we mode flip, we jump from one behavior to another, desperately trying to distance or distract ourselves from the other emotional experiences within our personality system. Knowledge is key to change, but knowledge alone is not enough. As it is for many people, when my angry protector mode was blended in my system, I had no control over my words or actions. I would fly into fits of rage, pushing everyone away and activating a wall of self-righteous resentment towards other people about the things I'd perceived them to have done or even not to have done. This level of anger and contempt has to be seen as another addictive process. And if you're anything like me and you experience this mode, it keeps you stuck in your pain and suffering for a really long time. As I stepped into building my own recovery lifestyle, and particularly when I went beyond into living the life I wanted to live, it was incredibly important to understand this part of my personality to better appreciate its purpose in my system. Every single part of us has a reason for their existence, and if we want to work with them, we have to create an internally safe place for our parts to step into where they feel comfortable to express their thoughts and feelings in a vulnerable way. We have to accept that in the short term, the angry protector is an effective tool for shielding the vulnerable child from threat. As we discussed, its behavior patterns are often seen as aggressive, prickly and off-putting by those around us, which actually causes them to just back away from any attempt to penetrate our guard. The only purpose of the angry protector is to keep the vulnerable child safe. It stops anyone from activating the loneliness, sadness, shame and guilt that's held at the core of our personality system by this vulnerable part. And if we want to gain access to the vulnerable child to help it release the burden it's carrying, we have to get past the protection mechanisms. The only way to do this is to build trust, to spend the time getting to know the protection mechanism, to appreciate its purpose in our system by listening to and acknowledging its fears, creating the possibility for it to see that our system has different ways to cope that are extremely effective as a long-term solution instead of the short-term gratification that its current way of doing things is providing. I needed to mindfully create the opportunity for these parts to lessen their hypervigilance with empathy and compassion, to appreciate their purpose and to be grateful for the way they do their job. Once I was able to do this, I was taking the steps I needed towards living the life I wanted to live, creating opportunities to behave differently and opening up the possibility for liberating the parts of me that were experiencing emotional suffering in an attempt to run from the emotional pain. In the PDF at the bottom of the website page that's connected to this video, you're going to find a worksheet that's designed to help you identify if this mode is one that you experience as a dominant way of coping with your uncomfortable and unwanted emotional experiences. Take some time to read it through and contemplate the questions before you just jump in and answer them. Reflect on how relevant they are to you, and if you think and feel that this is a mode of behaviour that you use on a regular basis, try using the skills of DBT when they're integrated with schema therapy to build awareness for its presence within your own personality system. As always, if you like the content of this video, please subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and turn on the notifications to get all the latest from me and the Liberation Place. If you'd like to know more, come join the live online meetings that I facilitate for free each week on Zoom. You'll find a link to the page containing more information about those groups in the description below. I hope this video gave you some insight for how the angry protector mode might exist within your own personality system, along with what we have to do in order to try to work with it. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Take care, be safe, and be well.